Or to chat.
Very good morning, good evening, and namaste, dear Utsahins. For a successful and self-sustainable economy of any country, the only solution is to bring out the creativity and innovation from each corner. The grassroots level innovation will enable and inspire the transformation and its roots to inclusive society. A warm welcome to today's session on the topic, the new beginnings. Let's be a part of the solution. And firstly, I would like to welcome our today's guest, retired Brigadier Sri P. Ganesham ji, the founder, president, Padmashree. He is the advisor, member of various departments of government of Telangana. In order to carry a positive action, we have to first develop a positive vision. This quote perfectly suits Ganesham ji for the work he's doing and for the vision he's carrying forward. And thank you, sir, for joining us to inspire us today. And I would like to also especially welcome our inspiration, the founder of Utsahin, Mr. Ramreddy Garu, and my whole team of Utsahin. Thank you so much for making Utsahin possible. And thank you so much. And now I request Mrs. Vasaki ji for rendering the prayers Sangachatvam. Over to you, ma'am.
Sangachatvam samvagatvam sambho manasi janata Sangachatvam samvagatvam sambho manasi janata Bhagam yatha purvi sandhyana upasati deva bhagam yatha purvi sandhyana upasati Samano mantra samitihi samani samanam manaha sahachitamesha samaniva ahutihi samana hridayani vah samanamastu omano yatha vah susahasati Sangachatvam samvadatvam sambho manasi janata sambho manasi janata
Sangachatvam. Thank you so much, ma'am, for adding a positive energy to the meeting today. And with this, I would like to initiate the session, and I would like to welcome our master of ceremony for today's session, Anirban sir, for taking care of the further proceedings. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, and namaste all. Hearty good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to every one of you who've joined for yet another episode of Utsahin. It gives me extreme pleasure to introduce the theme of today's session, the new beginnings. It's that time of the year when many of us celebrate the new year according to the Saka era calendar. And it's also very appropriate and opportune that at this moment, we reflect and look at how we can make our lives more valuable, not only for ourselves, but for our nation, for our society, and for people at large. And how better to do that than to use the most precious, valuable that each of us have, our intellect. How do we use our intellect and our capacity to innovate and create solutions, both in terms of simple innovations in day-to-day life to real-life innovations that may even lead to inventions, which in turn can solve problems both for our society as well as at large for the economy. In that theme in mind, and with a special focus on promoting innovation at the grassroots level, especially at the level of villages and the rural public, where a lot of our people have day-to-day problems that they need to solve, but they don't have very many avenues where they can bring out their innovations to life and to create value. That's where we thought the title New Beginnings will be appropriate in theme with our very esteemed guest speaker, Brigadier Ganesham ji, who has been doing human service for a very long time through his organization, Pallesh Rujana. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest of the day, who in turn is going to speak about this very same theme of how innovations can be made at the grassroots level. But before that, let's briefly understand his various accreditations. Retired Brigadier Pogula Ganesham ji was born in Bhumpalli of Telangana. He is an engineering graduate from Osmania University and an MBA from Delhi University. With over 35 years of experience with the Indian Army, especially serving as a specialist in armored fighting vehicles and holding the post of command in a battalion in Kashmir in the thick of a counterinsurgency operation, he was instrumental in developing a multi-role weapon system called Windy. This was displayed in the Republic Day parade of 2004, and he also obtained a patent for his vehicle, which is the first patent for the Indian Army. He was given the Vishish to Seva Medal, or the VSM, by the President of India on the occasion of the Republic Day of 2005. Post his retirement, he served the Bharat Dynamics Limited, or BDL, as the Director of Production from 2006 to 2009. Later, he formed a voluntary group called Pallesh Rujana, which, with his like-minded friends, focused on knowledge-based activity in United Andhra Pradesh. Pallesh Rujana conducts several yatras known as Chinna Shodha Yatra, where every quarter, various people walk around in a knowledge walk, spreading information and knowledge, interacting with thousands of villagers, where the volunteers of Pallesh Rujana reach out to the villagers and ensure that they understand the importance of grassroots innovation. He has built a very large voluntary network of individuals of over 3,000 people in the Telugu states. In the last 15 years, he and his team have identified over 300 innovators and documented more than 2,000 traditional knowledge practices. Not only this, till date, the innovators developed by Pallesh Rujana have received more than 13 President Awards, 26 patents, 86 innovations that have been incubated and marketed successfully. Each of these innovations have also created an economic impact of over rupees 10 crore in the period from 2015 to 2020, which in turn has touched over 7 lakh Telugu families and provided employment to 200 plus people in the rural region. In the Republic Day of 2017, 2 of grassroots innovators scouted by Pallesh Rujana were awarded Padmashree Awards by the Government of India. Thus, Brigadier Ganesham ji has not only been instrumental in spreading the concept of Pallesh Rujana, but he's also gone ahead and created an economically sustainable society with his organization creating multiple innovators from the grassroots level, who in turn have been able to get awards at the national as well as international level. In 2019, C.V. Reddy, a farmer innovator, was awarded the Padmashree. He was awarded the Padmashree in January 2020 because of the Raitu Nestam Foundation, which was also honored with more than 8 innovators from the Raitu Nestam Awards since 2012. He also conceived a new model called as the grassroots entrepreneurship, in which he and his team have been disseminating grassroots innovations to several innovators who in turn have shown their creative potential. In his major initiatives, he has also created something called as Gram Swayam Samruddha, Rural Internship, Gyan Shodh, and has captured the creativity of several school children. With many more such awards, laurels, and memberships in his credits, we have Brigadier Ganesham ji with us today, who in turn will motivate, inspire, and tell us the story of many of these innovators. In fact, when I first reached out to him, he told me that it is not about my story that matters, but it's about including more volunteers who in turn can spread the message of grassroots innovation. Innovation happens in day-to-day life, but are we able to make good value out of it? Are we able to make innovators come to the limelight? That needs volunteering. And that is where his message is here to inspire every one of us to promote grassroots innovations. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. All the wonderful persons here, of course, much younger than me, and seeing a lot of energy coming together on Sunday is marvelous. And thank you, Mr. Anirban, for reading everything I've sent. Had I known, I would have sent half a page to you. Yeah. Now, can I have just give me a half minute to share the screen? Please confirm you're seeing the screen.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, it's fine. Right. Am I audible okay? My audio?
Yes, you're audible and the presentation is visible. Thank you.
Right. This is a beautiful opportunity for me to speak about the journey we had since 2005. Today, let me bring out the significance and the existence of creativity at grassroots, because we believe that villages are not sinks, but they are source. We respect them. When we respect, they trust you. When they trust you, they share. And when they share, you learn. And that's a process we evolved. And we believe then we started Padmashree in 2005. We believe now that people are creative despite their economic marginality. Padmashree implies village creativity, and it's a voluntary group. We nurture grassroots creativity and ensure that the affordable solutions developed by them for solving their problems are horizontally disseminated from village to village, land to land, and farmer to farmer, woman to woman. So Padmashree in a nutshell provides this grassroots creativity a voice, and we make them visible, and a velocity to the extent of dissemination to the people who are facing similar problems. In our journey, what we found is that it may be true for everybody, but they always look for some happiness. Something is bothering them, they want to get out of that. And if that pain is removed, they become that much happier. So the entire process of meeting people, learning, boils down to one thing: they want to be happier than what they are today or yesterday. And to do that, they want to reduce their pains, and that pain removal is what is not innovation, which reduces their effort or time or higher increases productivity, but brings some happiness out of it. Now, they always follow this. This is interesting. In my entire 60 years of technological life or engineering, no one told me this. Maybe I have not observed, but more from less for many. Like a seed, you put a seed and a big tree comes up with lakhs of leaves and thousands of fruits and flowers, and for many, for everyone. So this principle MLM brings out the fact that input is less, output is more, which is different from what we see in technology, where input is more and output is less. And therefore, this brings out affordability, availability, acceptability, and of course, accessibility, because it's made from the local resources, local technologies, local problems, and local solutions. What exactly they mean by innovation, what the grassroots innovation is, look at the picture you see on the left side. 4 people struggling to put the old lady into the rickshaw. But on the right side, a small innovation made so much difference. They brought happiness to them. The number of people reduced. There's comfort, productivity. Well, my dear friend, this is innovation in terms of grassroots people. The pain should reduce and should be affordable, replicable, and accessible. This is what you see in the schools. We all come from schools, but the taps are at one level. We are not of same height, but we never complain. We have nice kids. But somebody complained, and what the principal did is he made a multi-level taps. Now, this is a pain which is not expressed to you, but is felt by the people. But if you do this, the children will appreciate, and they will do the same to the next generation. That's the kind of a lessons that generation learns if you reduce their pains. And we also observe that these innovators, creative people in the villages, they follow these 3 steps: knowing the problem, feeling the problem, and then find a solution. Now, in most of our cases, feeling part is missing. Feeling here is samvedana. Samvedana is let's not try to get an English word for it. Let's understand samvedana the way it is. Samvedana is feeling others' pain the way they feel it. You're internalizing others' pain. And I think with that pain, when they use that whatever little creativity they have and taking the help of the society, they find a solution that we call innovation. And that reduces their pain and increases happiness. I'll show an example of the walker, which you have 4 fixed legs walker. It cannot be used when one wants to go up the staircase or coming down. Their legs are stiff, fixed, and we need help. I think this can be made differently, where the person can go up on his own by modifying the front legs, which can be adjustable, going up, reduce it, shorten them, and we're coming down in place. Now, I think we feel that, Palestinians and I strongly feel that this is made out of knowing, feeling, and doing. Similarly, we compare harvester, which is an issue everybody is worried about, environment and burning fires and so many things. But let me give it the different perspective of harvester. Now, on the left side, you find the field which has been harvested by the existing mechanical harvester, combined harvester. It leaves a big bump, what you call stub, 8-10 inches, and after the grains taken away into the harvester, the leftover grass is strewn into the field. So entire grass is left in the field. Farmer gets only grains, whereas every farmer is entitled to get grains and grass together. And that is his right. But why mechanization has denied him a right? Have you asked this question? Now, since this is so much grass is there to collection, he needs money and time, which he can't afford. And next crop, he cannot take it with this down. The biodegradation doesn't take place, so he burns it. So burning, cause of burning is a mechanical harvester provided by us, not anything else. So what happened is, one Surendra Prasad, one farmer near Lucknow, he faced this for 30 years. I said, nothing more, let me do something. So he modified the combine harvester. He's an uneducated farmer, not like me and you, but he harvested this. Just take 20 seconds, 30 seconds to see the video. There are no stubs. It's like a cutting with hand, 2 to 3 inches. And now he gives grass separately to the farmer, delivers him at the point after every acre. Grass is separately given to him. And of course, grains are separately given to him. And this is possible because it is made by same mechanical combine. Here needs some modification. Now, don't you think this harvester is made of the knowing, feeling, doing, and not the present harvester, which is not really does it. And so much can be done. This has got a patent, it's got a national award by President of India, but it is yet to come to the market. We have so many, we have big tractors working, but you see here a small tractor, 6.5 horsepower. This guy can do anything with that. Up to 10 acres, he can handle all jobs of the field, cultivation, spraying, everything. And he has a tractor trailer attached to it, which has got 800 kg capacity. And with a tractor, a 6.5 horsepower, and a trailer of 800 kg, he can cultivate 10 acres comfortably. When you can do with 6.5 horsepower, my dear friends, why do you need 25 horsepower, 10 or 30, 40, 60, 70 horsepower? 86% of this country people have only less than 2 hectares, that is 5 acres. Appropriateness is what is missing. This is the way we, urea, fertilizers have been given to us way back in 60s and 70s, but they've not given us the way to dispense them. No one has given it. So they use by the bending or by spraying, and there's a lot of wastage in it. And this can be avoided by this boy, Mahesh. He made a small backpack, puts the fertilizer in that, and see how he does it. He finds the location, he selects the quantity, selects the location. Thereby the waste, 35% wastage is solved. Imagine what happens in this nation and everyone uses 35% less. Simple one, decentralized, replicable, and hardly any cost. But the benefit to the environment, what's happening? Benefit to the environment and benefit to the environment is very much. Yeah, there is the spraying takes place a lot, but here the spray is by cycle. The rear wheel riding is power is given to a pump, and that's all. You'll be able to do it in about 1 hour time, 1 acre can be done. And all can be modified, everything can be done in the village, appropriate, affordable, and the input, when input cost reduce, my dear friends, the poverty reduces. We have sprayers of this kind, you see, which can spray up to 3 feet. Especially in the paddy and wheat, we have sprayers up to 3 feet. Whereas one farmer has done for 300 feet. And one machine, same Taiwan machine, sprayer machine, he modified it such a way that it can go up to 300 feet. The noise is there, just see how beautifully it does it. What a beautiful 3 feet to 300 feet. What a, the people who have more than 3 acres or 4 acres, 1, 2 people can comfortably do it. So seeding, thousands and thousands of acres we seed groundnuts, maize, whatnot. And the seeding is what totally bending and doing it. And whereas there's a method, beautiful method by a boy, intermediate boy in Suryapet district in Telangana. It's just the lady doesn't bend at all. And put the seed and bends it, the seed drops and gets closed on its own. And the arch you find in front can be used as a distance between the 2 seeds. And she can do 1 acre in a day comfortably. Otherwise, you know how many people have to bend like this to do an acre every day. You also see that most of the innovations you've seen here have no post-sale activity. They can be made and made in the villages and maintained by the farmers wherever they go. We have a big problem in weeding in paddy fields. You see, there's so much of weeds in the paddy is as good as paddy. But if you see this field here, they have used herbal weedicide. You find absolutely no weeds. This is the way the herbicide is made and tried in 5,000 acres. We need 4 liters and absolutely no kalpu weed comes up. Now, this is kinds of a happiness farmers can get by innovations from farmers. This is the way load carrying was done in the villages, but we have no replacement for it while the animals have gone, bullock carts have gone. This boy Nayak has made a 4-wheeler trailer which carries 1,000 kg. It can be driven by a moped, a motorcycle, a tractor, or a kinetic, anything, but it carries 1,000 kg. What a beautiful loader it is. It is unmet need of the village, and it has to be given to the villages. Similarly, electric vehicles. Patan Saida and Chalurpeta made 1 lakh worth of a auto electric vehicle, which it has got a 50 kilometer operating time. in a day and charging for 4 hours. And that's very useful for the people in the present world. And what these people are giving, all the innovations we have seen, is they are affordable excellence. We think that higher the cost, higher the excellence. I think we must change our mind. For the masses, we have to give affordable excellence. Then the benefit of that comes to all of us. When we design, we have to see it, and it's possible. There are so many examples of it's possible. You know the coconut trees and toddy trees, how people go up and what happens to their legs and feet. And now there is a very good innovations, one by Venkat, one by Appachan. One is standing and so that's the way you can work on the top with 2 hands and comfortable. No power required, adjustment is possible. Everything is locally can be handled. And what a happiness, instead of going 4 or 5 times a day. Anybody can go, ladies, women, children, even the rainy day, they can go up and do the job. This is the problem. On the left side, you see, people work in the open. 20 lakhs people may be working in the open. Correct me if my figure is wrong. Every day. We don't worry about them. We don't worry at all. Nobody worries. But in the one boy, my pal Shanmukha Rao, he said, let me make a shade for them. He made a shade for farm workers. 5 feet by 10 feet, 2 poles, both sides, and two wheels each side. Erection 10 minutes, and they work under that and keep pushing as they keep working forward and carry it along with it. Now, this is not a product. It doesn't give you a direct advantage, but it gives happiness to the people. When they go home in the evening, they're less tired. They're less strained. They laugh and eat dinner. And imagine 20 lakh people, 20 crore families eating and laughing and eating dinner. Isn't it a great dividend for us? That's what we have to look at it, not only $1 trillion economy. Load carrying, head loads are inevitable towards 21st century. And we take it as a fait accompli, but none of us has worked anything for that. There's hardly any technology has come. Still it's going on. But there are methods, people have made it. There is one on the left side, you find a girl carrying water. See how small gadgets she put on her head, which is custom made to her head and shoulder height. And anybody can. And she puts it there, and while moving forward, she adjusts the legs on the shoulders such a way that the whole vessel goes up by ½ an inch. So there's no load on her head. The whole load comes to the shoulders. Now, similarly, on the right side, you see a boy made with a lohar from Maharashtra. He made a 4 plastic sort of a frame, which is tied to the body and the shoulders. And at the top, there is a plate which is 1 inch above the head. Now, when you put the weight goes to the body, which is bigger in area and it can take more load. You change the load center, that's it, which we have not done for the last 5,000 years. And the head and neck are totally gone and productivity is gone, increased. We must have competitions in the colleges and schools to provoke our children to find some solutions for such mass problems with the masses. It's amazing the solution by. Similarly, pole climbing is always a problem, but here Tirupati Rao has made a very, very simple thing. He goes up there and he's made with a 1 rod, so there's no breakages. And this is my dear friend. He has got National Award, President of India. He's got a best award in the Asian countries and got $15,000. A simple looking one is because it addresses the human problem. And so beautifully it addresses simply. He's got the design patent, but he has made open source so that the whole country can make it. He already sold more than 2 lakh pieces. So you have seen all the innovations emphasis is on people, not on technology. They want to reduce the pain of the people by somehow using the appropriate, affordable technology. And that is the sutra we have learned from these innovators in the villages. Now the loading in a village, unloading in the village is still manual. There is no way. We have the 6.5 lakh villages. We have no cranes. So what one boy did is he made a crane. Yes, Hari, you want to say something? Somebody raised hand. Hello, can you hear me?
Hari, you may unmute yourself and speak.
Sorry? Hari, you want to say something? Can I go on?
Ganesham ji, please continue. Hari, you can put a question on a note, and we will take it up during Q&A hour. Hari, please.
One boy, Shanmukha Rao, has made a small crane. See the crane, only the green portion is the crane. Rest factory is already existing. And this attachment takes about an hour or so. This lifts 15 feet and up to 800 kgs it can lift. And so all kinds of loads can be in the village can be lifted comfortably by this crane, and its cost just 10,000 bucks. It includes GST and everything. And I think we have to provide such things to the villages. They have unmet needs. The productivity of the villages, all this will be taken care of. Wonderful weeders we have, beautiful weeders, so beautifully running, you see it. He has sold more than 3,000 pieces across the country and is manufactures in the village known as Partal in Warangal district. There's one more weeder you see here. This weeder is uniqueness. Uniqueness is it has got only mono wheel, one wheel with 10 inches diameter. That means this can be used in a maize which has got 12 inches row separation to cotton which has 3 feet row separation. What he needs to change is the actual digging tool which he fits in the rear. So it's a changing of crops, crop rotation, crop choice. You need not buy every farmer, need not buy every time a new weeder. So he made a multi-purpose weeder with 5 horsepower engine and which can be used in any of the dry crops. Now that is the beauty of this innovation made by Venkatesh. There is one more weeder has come. He says, why not sit down? Why in the longer fields, the wider fields. So this boy, Shanmukha Rao, has made this and he sits down. And being a mono wheel, turning is not a problem. With 2 wheels is a problem. Lifting, there's no problem to do it. So very comfortable. Farmers are very active. There's one lady, Mrs. Raju in Vizag, and she saw people throwing tomatoes because of rate was not there and they could not keep it for more number of days. She felt bad and she worked on the problem for 6 years and she found a method to preserve them and increase their life. She uses extract of edible leaves, the sabji we call it, edible leaves, and with that mixing with water in some proportion, the freshly plucked tomatoes are dipped into that and put at room temperature. And my dear friends, after 25 days, the tomatoes were like this as you see on the screen, 25 days. And the life is so beautifully extended and the strength percentage at 25 is 0.01. It's validated by scientific studies. So such kind of things will help and all come from the rural areas because they are passionate and samvedanasheel. Now we have lots of animals. When they don't work, we try to kill them or whatever it is, we do it. But that's not correct. Let them die the way we all die. And that's possible when we learn to use the rejects. Almost 10 kg per day is a dung. It gives about 8 to 10 liters of urine. And with that, we can make pots. And here the pots you see, you make pots and put mud in that, put plant in that, and after some time, whole pot goes into the earth. There's no wastage. And that way you can make money from the rejects of animals and let animals live. And similarly, you can do dung, You can make logs from dung, which can be used for cremation. Almost 40,000 people die every day in our country and they need cremation. And we cannot stop it. And 5 to 6 quintals of wood is used. That's what I understand. And all this can be saved by using the rejects of animals. But what the villagers need is such compressors and machines are required. We have to provide them. That is our job. And these are made again by villagers, which I'm showing you. Today, husband and wife work, but washing the vessels is a problem. And we still eat greasy food. And it's not easy to wash in the morning, but evening they get dried up. Somebody made a small washing machine, as you see in the picture. And so she washes here the brush by automatically it moves up and she turns around and after soap water comes up and the whole thing is made so beautifully and the cost is 5,000 rupees. This is what not affordable excellence. Some effort is reduced, some incentive is there than what the present dishwashers are very costly and they cannot, people cannot afford it. So these are the kind of innovations I've shown you a glimpse, but there are so many. Every innovation solves a problem of the people. And problem of the people, not one, lakhs of people's problems, and it gives them some happiness. Surely, I'm sure you have seen the benefit of the innovations. What we exactly do is we start scouting the innovations because knowledge doesn't come to us and knowledge doesn't have legs. We have legs, so we walk to the villages. We learn, talk to them, share with them, tell them we come for learning. They laugh at us initially, but later, when we develop trust and they see the genuinity in our eyes and our body, our language, then they accept and share their things. Now, sharing is okay, you scouted and identified, but the documentation is very important because in the formal sector, documentation is concurrent. When the proposal starts with the documentation and documentation is concurrent, there's no issue of documentation. But here, innovation is made. Now you have to make document because they have to connect it with the formal system. And formal system doesn't go without documentation. And who is teaching documentation? And they have no answers to the questions at all because they never expected these questions and they don't remember anything. But if you don't do this, my dear friends, all these grassroots will be denied the recognition, patenting, facilities, all recognition awards from formal society. Now, what do? Do we lose them? Do we deny all these wonderful things to the grassroots innovators? Our volunteers do this job and all other things like value addition, validation things will all be done. And one important dissemination, then patenting we do. We have volunteers to do the patent, volunteer lawyers, and a lot of awards. Volunteers pitch these innovations to national, international awards, local awards, but always some or other award comes because we believe, as I told you, that they are extremely wonderful innovations. And if we talk about them, I'm sure people will respect and help in business development wherever possible, whoever wants to do it in the village. Dissemination is a very big part because we have to take this knowledge and share with the people who need. It is not lab to land, it is land to land, village to village, farmer to farmer. That's where we try to do voluntarily by many means. One of them is a magazine we have, other is the exhibitions. Then we also do Shodha Yatras. It's like a pilgrimage to the forgotten temples of knowledge. We go there to learn, not to teach them. And where it is an unknown journey, unknown context, unknown agenda with unknown people. But we have wonderful time. They respect us, we respect them. It's a great collaboration. And what we do is, see the third bullet, we scout innovations and we share innovations which we have learned in the previous journeys, previous knowledge. So it is both ways it happens. We share and we tell them, okay, people like you have done it, what have you done? Then somebody will come out or somebody will say, he has done it, my uncle has done it. And that's the way we get connectivity. And in the future, they keep on sharing with us whenever they play. And in the pandemic is the one where we had problem and there was no way to walk in, but innovation was going on. The work in the nature was going on. Villages were going on. So what we did is we conducted weekly webinars. Fortunately, because of the online classes, the parents, farmers also had iPhones. So that technology advantage we utilized in weekly webinars. And from October 20 onwards, we have been conducting every week Wednesday. We so far introduced 126 innovators from Telugu states. and 232 innovations, mind you, 1 year plus. And that is the potential of our people. Amazing innovations. Recognition also, as I mentioned, we got the brief, Ganesham also mentioned, lot of recognition. And recently they got 3 international awards. And first time Telangana government 2 days back has given them financial help, first time 5 grassroots innovations. I'm sure slowly system is coming up. It's only 16 years we started. We need to see that the innovations goes to the people, so we make into ready for sale innovations, categorize them, bring them from prototype to ready for sale. That is the nurturing we do. Then today we have 89 items, all incubated, being sold, made in the villages by the innovators, which in their own villages. And all marketing and technological, economical, or legal help, all volunteers give it, and they're able to sell them. And some of them are being sold on Amazon also. Last 3 years, 20 crores. And it's very interesting is that from June to October 2020, when the entire world is shut, only grassroots innovations were sold to the villagers because the farming was going on. Activity in the village never stopped. But we found 5 crores we sold from June to September 2020. That gives an idea. The villagers can sustain with their own knowledge and carry on. And the total produce in that season was the highest in the last 10 years, right? So anybody who wants innovations or this thing can contact Subhash Chandra because we only connect. We are not commercially, we connect with you. Whatever the problem you have, you tell us, we'll find a solution with our inventory and connect that to you, the innovator. And if innovator cannot communicate, then Subhash Chandra will communicate and get the things. Now we started after 15 years that why only find solutions? Let us find solutions for the problems. So we asked the farmers to share problems in the WhatsApp or whatever the way it is. And they shared a lot of problems. In the last 6 months, we solved 20 problems. Whom did we use? We use our grassroots innovators who are amazing, Vishwakarmas we call it. Any problem you give them, they feel that they come out of some way, then they come out with a solution which is affordable, appropriate, no post-service life, and affordable excellence. So this is what powerful insight of Mahatma Gandhi. We need mass production. And that will help them decentralize affordability, transaction cost. You can understand so many advantages are there. And people get engaged in the village. And the R&D and production should be in proximity to the farmers, not away from them. It should be, that's what our artisans, our villages were designed earlier. Now, in fact, Kurian said, a famous Amul Kurian, he said that traditional knowledge and professionalism together can take India to the highest level. So what is the traditional knowledge? This is what knowledge in the villages. It's not traditional. Don't give it a bad sense for traditional. It is that knowledge came from nature. They have learned and they learn to handle nature. And that grassroots knowledge, don't replace their knowledge, supplement their knowledge. Today we don't recognize their knowledge and therefore we give what we know. I think these are the things we have to teach our children. Identify their knowledge, add on what they don't have. And that's the way. Strengthening the strengths is the principle of the villages to be developed or the people to be developed. So if you believe that there is a grassroots innovations, creativity available in the villages, we have to do a lot of things, individual level, community level, NGO, government, institutions, education institutions, everybody has a role to play. I listed some of them, but I'm sure with your wisdom and with your commitment, you will find more initiatives to take grassroots innovations, entire knowledge, our own strength into our developmental sector. So a small story and I'll finish it. A long time back, the villages were depending on the forest and they used to go and get the forest produce, whatever is their forest, they carry back all the way and some they eat, some they consume, some they used to sell for barter system. But Raja did not like it because they go with empty baskets and come with heavy baskets, and which were they have to walk all the way to the village. They can't put it down. So what he made pedestals on the way. So that is the pain of his subjects are reduced. So what did Raja do? When you cannot remove the problem, reduce the pain. My dear friends, we have to observe the problems. When you observe the problems, you internalize the problem. You internalize the problem, you feel the pain, then you try to reduce the pain by some percentage, 10, 20, 30, 40, or you shout about the problem. And that much happiness comes. But you wait for the problem totally removed, I'm not very sure it is possible in all cases. So I think each one has the ability to do it. I request all of you to think about it, observe the problem, reduce the pain. And thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. You may stop the presentation now. Thank you. It was indeed wonderful listening to all of these wonderful grassroots innovations, whether they be seeders, weeders, whether they be pole climbers, or a whole lot of human mechanical devices. And I think your organization, Ganesham ji, has done a great service in bringing recognition first, and two, in ensuring that these innovations actually not just make value for the innovator, but also for others who might have a similar problem. And Padmashree towards that is acting as a wonderful platform to connect people who have problems to find solutions, and people who have solutions to kind of maximize and multiply the benefits of that innovation to others who can solve the similar problems. And truly, as you mentioned, sir, we believe that volunteering is very essential here, and all of us can contribute towards ensuring we speak about it, we help spread that recognition and bring laurels by production in the masses. But all of that begins with what you first said, empathy, the ability to understand another's pain, and the true commitment to remove the other's pain and helping people live in happiness. I think that's where connecting with the heart should also happen, along with innovating with the mind. A very wonderful message, and thank you for your inspiring talk, sir. We really appreciate the time you spent with us. I will now call upon Yash to summarize the session and share the session summary. Over to Yash.
Thank you so much, Anirbanji. It's a great pleasure for me to summarize today's event. The new beginnings. Let's be part of the solution. That was the tagline that we started with. And our speaker has rightly said the mindset shift for the new beginnings when he said people living at the margin, people on margin need not have the marginal minds, right? So that was the mindset shift, a new beginning that has given to us. With this, he ventured into the 3 V's, the voice, visibility, and velocity that Padmashree works for these grassroots people at the grassroots level. And also the MLM. I thought it's multi-level marketing, but he gave a new definition for it. It's a new term that I could relate to, from more, from less to many, right? For many, rather. And then which is leads to the 4 A's, which is the affordability, availability, acceptability, and accessibility. And also he gave the definition of what innovation is. Innovation, he gave the example of rickshawala, how a simple innovation could be. A small thing can reduce pain, right? So the 3 steps that these grassroots level people look at: knowing, feeling, and doing. And feeling, he rightly said, he couldn't get an English term for it. It is samvedana, internalizing the pain. That's how the innovators start to look at the solution. He gave the example of the adjustable walker to explain this, to set this in context. And he has given plethora of examples, be it harvester, be it the tractor, which is working on 6 HP. He rightly said the pain area was 80%, have hardly land below 2 acres. Then why do you need 170 HP? It's a right point. And fertilizer dispensers, which helps in reducing the cost. Sprayers, which could go above 300 feet. Seeders, which will reduce the bending pain that people have. So again, so be it weeds, be it tree climbers, load carriers. So for long, we have been carrying only on our heads. Why don't we bring it on our shoulders? So that kind of wonderful examples that he has given in, he told it's affordable excellence, right? And with this, all these examples, we understand one thing: the emphasis is not on the technology, but it is on the people. Like Anirbanji rightly said, it's heartful way of connecting things. And there he said the role of Padmashree Sujana, what we do in nurturing these, they help in getting the entire process of scouting, documenting, and bringing it to market, or ready for sale, ready for market, or ready for entrepreneurship. All these three pillars with which the wonderfully Padmashree Sujana is organizedly built. He also gave the example of he also explained about the Chinna Shodha Yatra, where unknown work, they don't have any agenda, but just they go with an open mind, find solutions, find the problems, find the solutions. So, and also he gave the example of the Gondal King, 1890s Gujarat, a simple internalizing the pain and how small this thing is built, so that they could keep their weights. With all these things, he ended up on a wonderful note. When you cannot remove the problems, we should try at reducing the pain. So that's where our volunteering effort pitch in. If we cannot remove the problems, at least we should strive to reduce the pain and support whatever we could from our efforts. And with this, I would like to hand it over back to Anirbanji if I had missed anything. Thanking Brig Ganesham ji. Yes, Anirbanji, anything that I've missed?
Thank you, Yash, for the pretty detailed summary where you tried to cover almost all of the various innovations that were shown. But I think I will end only with one note. All of the innovation that happens in grassroots even happens in our life day to day. Every one of us, we keep innovating and finding little solutions. But I think a key message to take from what Brig said today is that we don't document them. And then we don't go ahead and recognize people who are making those innovations. Documenting those little innovations that we see in life and having the empathy to share it with others who might share a similar pain, and that way multiply and maximize the value and the benefit of your innovations. At the same time, recognize when other people make wonderful innovations, when you see those little innovations, whether it's a vegetable vendor, whether it's a shopkeeper, whether it's in a rickshaw puller or a rickshaw driver, when you watch something innovative, make sure you document it, and if possible, spread that message around. Recognize them. How we do it is about how well we can empathize with the pain, and then how much we are willing to commit and contribute towards bringing these grassroots innovators to the limelight, like Brig and his organization, Padmashree Sujana, have been doing. So 3 cheers to that organization. Everyone who's seeing this program, recorded or live, we request you and your participation in volunteering in spreading this good word. Thank you. That's all that I have to say. I will now call upon Prasanna ji to render the vote of thanks. Prasanna ji, over to you.
So I'm going to take it.
Charan, to take it over.
For the vote of thanks.
Yeah. So finally, thank you, Yash and Anirban sir, for briefing it. And good evening, dear science and esteemed guests. So firstly, I would like to extend my heartily thanks to our guest speaker, Sri Ganesham ji, who has given a beautiful message on today's topic, new beginnings. So as I quoted in my welcome note, in order to carry a positive action, we have to first develop a positive vision. So Ganesham ji, your vision is incredible. Your mission in bringing out creativity and innovation from grassroots level is so inspiring. So examples of innovation happening in villages, especially in agriculture, which is changing the way people live. One line you have quoted, which gave a clear picture of your mission, is that emphasis is on people, not on technology. So to make life of the people easy so that they can lead a healthy and happy life. So today I literally felt there's more innovation happening in villages than in rural areas, than in cities, and in rural areas more than cities. So incredible it is. And your support towards recognizing such innovation activities in India is really commendable. And this will definitely encourage more innovation activities happening in India. And thank you again, sir, for taking us through your activities, and looking forward to connect with you, and for your support to sign in the future. Thanks again, sir. And, I would like to especially thank and extend my gratitude to Anirban sir for being a wonderful host today, and end to end, it was really amazing and really incredible, sir. And I would like to also thank Ram Reddy sir, Raghuram sir. Thank you for being there always to inspire us. And my heartily thanks to Yash for the closing comments. And next, we have the English prayer. And let's add more positive energy and let's have more innovation and creativity in the future. And I would like to especially thank the team of Utsahin for putting your continuous efforts for making Utsahin an amazing platform for learning. Thanks again. And now it's time for the English prayer.
The Utsahin prayer. May we march forward with the common goal.
May we be open-minded and work together in harmony.
May our prayers be one.
May we belong to one brotherhood.
May our aspirations be harmonious.
May our minds be in unison.
May we strive to reduce disparity.
May we be bound to strong fellowship and unity.
Sangachatvam.
Unity,
Sangachatvam.
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 Sangachatvam. Like all good things come to a closure, we will request all our participants to please stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जयति तरंगा वशुनाए जागे शुभ आशीष मांगे गाते तनय गाथा जन गण मंगल जय हे भारत विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे